Yesterday, my phone rang at midnight. I picked it up with shaking hands. It was Marcus, my son's best friend. His voice was breaking. "Mrs. Chen, you need to know the truth," he whispered. "About the wedding. About everything." My heart stopped. The wedding was tomorrow. My son David had told me not to come. He said I wasn't welcome, but I had paid for everything. The flowers, the cake, the venue, even the dress for his bride, Emma. "What truth?" I asked. My voice came out like a croak. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. I could hear him breathing hard. "David doesn't know you paid for it all," he said. "Emma told everyone her parents paid. She's been lying." I sat down on my kitchen chair. My legs felt weak. The room started spinning. For 6 months, I had been sending money, $20,000, all my savings. Emma had asked me to keep it secret. She said it would be a surprise for David. But now Marcus was telling me something different, something that made my stomach hurt. "Mrs. Chen," Marcus said again. "There's more, much more. Can you meet me tomorrow morning? Before the wedding?" I looked at the clock. It was 12:15 a.m. In 12 hours, my son would marry a woman who had been lying to everyone, including me. "Yes," I whispered. "I'll be there. My name is Linda Chen. I'm 52 years old. I live alone in a small house in Portland. My husband died 3 years ago from cancer. Since then, it's just been me and my son David. David is 28. He's tall and handsome like his father. He works as a teacher at the local high school. Kids love him. Parents respect him. He's always been a good boy. Never gave me trouble. Never lied to me. Until 6 months ago. That's when he met Emma Rodriguez at a coffee shop. She was beautiful. Long black hair. Big brown eyes. Perfect smile. She worked as a nurse at the hospital downtown. She seemed sweet and kind. David fell in love fast. Too fast, I thought. But I didn't say anything. I wanted him to be happy. After his father died, David had been so sad. Seeing him smile again made my heart warm. Emma started coming to dinner every Sunday. She would bring flowers. She would help me cook. She called me Mom Linda and hugged me tight. She talked about her family in Mexico. She said they were poor but proud. She said she missed them. I liked her. I really did. 3 months ago, David proposed. Emma said yes with tears in her eyes. They set the wedding date for October. Everything happened so fast. Too fast. That's when Emma came to me alone. It was a Tuesday evening. David was at a school meeting. Emma knocked on my door. Her eyes were red from crying. "Mom, Linda," she said, sitting on my couch. "I need to tell you something. Something private." I sat next to her. I held her hand. "What's wrong, honey?" Emma looked down at her fingers. "My parents can't pay for the wedding," she whispered. "They have no money. But David thinks they do." I lied to him. My heart felt heavy. I understood being poor. I understood pride. "I don't want David to know," Emma continued. "He would be embarrassed. He would want to pay for everything himself, but he doesn't have enough money either." I squeezed her hand. "What do you need from me?" Emma looked up with hope in her eyes. "Could you help us? Could you pay for some things? I promise I'll pay you back when I start working more hours." I thought about my savings account. $22,000, all the money I had left after my husband's medical bills. I had been saving it for emergencies, or maybe for David's future children. But looking at Emma's face, I made a decision. "Of course," I said. "Family helps family." Emma hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe. "Thank you, Mom Linda. You're an angel. But please, don't tell David. Let him think my parents are paying. It will save his feelings," I agreed. It seemed like the right thing to do. Over the next 3 months, Emma would visit me. She would show me bills. Flowers for $3,000, cake for $2,000, venue for $8,000, photographer for $4,000, her dress for $2,000, food for $3,000. Each time I wrote a check. Each time Emma cried with gratitude. Each time she made me promise to keep it secret. I was happy to help. I loved seeing David excited about his wedding. I loved seeing Emma smile. I felt useful. I felt needed. But something started feeling wrong. Little things. Strange things. The first strange thing happened 2 weeks ago. I was at the grocery store. I saw Mrs. Martinez, Emma's neighbor. She knew Emma's family well. "Linda," Mrs. Martinez called out. "I heard about David's wedding." "How exciting," I smiled. "Yes, we're all very happy." Mrs. Martinez lowered her voice. "Emma's parents must be so proud, spending all that money on a fancy wedding. I never knew they had savings like that." My smile froze. "What do you mean?" "Well," Mrs. Martinez continued, Emma told everyone her parents paid for everything. The whole neighborhood is talking about it. $20,000. That's more than most people make in a year. I felt cold. Very cold. Oh, I said quietly. Yes, they're very generous. But inside, my head was spinning. Why would Emma tell her neighbors that her parents paid? I thought the plan was to let David think that. Not the whole world. I drove home with shaking hands. I tried to call Emma. Her phone went to voicemail. I tried again an hour later. Still voicemail. That night, David came for dinner. He seemed happy. Too happy, like he was hiding something. "Mom," he said, cutting his chicken, "about the wedding tomorrow." My heart jumped. "Yes?" David put down his fork. He looked uncomfortable. "Emma and I think it's better if you don't come." The words hit me like a truck. "What?" "It's nothing personal," David said quickly. "It's just that Emma's family is very traditional. They want a small, intimate ceremony. Just immediate family." I stared at him. "I'm your immediate family." David's face turned red. "I know, Mom. But Emma's parents are paying for everything. They get to decide the guest list." There it was again. The lie about Emma's parents paying. But this time, it was coming from my own son. "David," I said slowly. "Are you sure about this?" He nodded. "I'm sorry, Mom. I know it hurts. But it's just one day. We'll have a big party later. Just you, me, and Emma." I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell him the truth. I wanted to show him all the checks I had written. But I had promised Emma. I had given my word. "Okay," I whispered. "If that's what you want." David hugged me. "Thanks for understanding, Mom. You're the best." After he left, I cried for 2 hours. I felt used. I felt stupid. I felt alone. The next day, I called my neighbor, Betty. Betty is 70 years old. She's lived next door for 20 years. She's seen everything. She knows everyone. "Betty," I said, "can you come over? I need to talk to someone." Betty came right away. She brought tea and cookies. She sat in my kitchen and listened while I told her everything. About the money, about the lies, about being uninvited to the wedding. Betty's face got angrier with each word. When I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. "Linda," she said finally. "This smells like a fish. What do you mean?" Betty leaned forward. "Nobody pays for their own wedding and then tells people someone else paid. That doesn't make sense." I nodded. I thought the same thing. "And," Betty continued, "no mother gets uninvited from her own son's wedding unless something very wrong is happening." Betty stood up. "We need to investigate this. We need to find out what's really going on." I felt scared. "How?" Betty smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. It was the smile she made when she was planning something. "Leave that to me. I have my ways." 2 days later, Betty came back. She had news. Big news. "I called the flower shop," she said, sitting down hard in my kitchen chair. I pretended to be Emma's aunt. I said I wanted to surprise her with extra flowers. My heart was beating fast. Betty's
What did
eyes
they
were
say?
cold. They said the flowers were already paid for. By Emma Rodriguez, with cash. Last week, I felt dizzy. "Cash? That's not all," Betty continued. "I called the cake shop too. Same story. Emma paid with cash, not her parents. Not a check from Mexico. Cash." My mouth was dry. "But I gave her money for flowers and cake." Betty nodded. "Exactly. So where did she get the cash?" We stared at each other. The truth was starting to form in my head. It was ugly. It was painful, but it was becoming clear. "There's more," Betty said. "I drove by the venue yesterday. I talked to the manager. Emma paid the deposit 2 weeks ago, in cash. She told them she was paying for everything herself." I put my head in my hands. "She's been lying about everything." "Linda," Betty said gently, "I think Emma has been collecting money from multiple people, telling everyone different stories, keeping all the cash." The room felt like it was spinning. But why would she do that? Betty's voice was sad. "Some people are just greedy, honey. Some people lie to get what they want." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about all the times Emma had hugged me. All the times she had called me Mom Linda. All the times she had cried fake tears. I felt like a fool. I felt like the stupidest woman in the world. But I also felt angry, very angry. The next morning, my phone rang at 7 a.m. It was Marcus, David's best friend. His voice sounded panicked. "Mrs. Chen, we have a problem. A big problem." I sat up in bed. "What's wrong?" "It's about the wedding." About Emma. I overheard something last night. Something terrible. My heart was pounding. Tell me. Marcus was quiet for a moment. I could hear him breathing hard. I was at the bachelor party. Emma's brother was there. He was drunk. Very drunk. And he started talking about money. About how Emma was collecting payments from different people. He said she had told her parents that David was paying for everything. She told David that her parents were paying. And she told you that she needed help. I finished. My voice was flat. Yes, Marcus whispered. Mrs. Chen, I think Emma has been lying to everyone. Taking money from everyone. Keeping it all. I felt sick to my stomach. How much money? From what her brother said, at least $60,000. Maybe more. $60,000, 3 times what I had given her. I thought about all the people she must have lied to. All the families she must have fooled. Marcus, I said. What should we do? I don't know, he said. The wedding is in 5 hours. David doesn't know anything. He's so happy. He loves her so much. I looked at the clock. It was 7:15 a.m. The wedding was at noon. I had been told not to come, but now I knew why. Emma didn't want me there. She was scared I might talk to other people, scared I might learn the truth. Marcus, I said, meet me at the venue in 2 hours. Bring David's other friends, the ones you trust. We need to stop this wedding. Are you sure? Marcus asked. David will be devastated. I thought about my son's face when he talked about Emma. I thought about how much he loved her. I thought about how this would break his heart. But then I thought about all the lies, all the stolen money, all the innocent people she had fooled. Yes, I said firmly. I'm sure. David deserves better than a liar and a thief. At 9 a.m., I arrived at the wedding venue. It was a beautiful place, rolling green hills, white flowers everywhere, exactly what Emma had shown me in the pictures. Marcus was waiting in the parking lot with 2 other friends, Jake and Tommy. They looked nervous. Did you tell David yet? I asked. Marcus shook his head. He's inside getting ready. He's so excited, Mrs. Chen. This is going to destroy him. The truth always hurts at first, I said, but lies hurt more in the end. We walked toward the building. I could see guests arriving. Emma's family was there. They looked happy. They had no idea their daughter was a criminal. Then I saw David's friends setting up chairs. They were laughing and joking. They thought this was going to be the happiest day of their friend's life. I felt terrible. But I knew I had to do this. Where is Emma? I asked Marcus, in the bridal room, getting her makeup done. I took a deep breath. I'm going to talk to her. Alone. I want to give her one chance to tell the truth. Marcus grabbed my arm. Mrs. Chen, that might not be safe. What if she gets angry? I looked at his young face. He was trying to protect me, but I was done being protected. I was done being fooled. I'll be fine, I said. If I'm not back in 15 minutes, come find me. I walked through the venue. My legs felt strong. My head felt clear. For the first time in months, I knew exactly what I was doing. The bridal room was at the end of a long hallway. I could hear laughing inside. Female voices, happy voices, voices that had no idea what was about to happen. I knocked on the door. Come in, Emma's voice called out. I opened the door. Emma was sitting in front of a big mirror. Her hair was perfect. Her makeup was perfect. Her white dress was perfect. She looked like a princess. 3 other women were in the room. Emma's sisters and her maid of honor. They were all smiling and chatting. When Emma saw me in the mirror, her face changed. The smile disappeared. Her eyes got wide. Mom Linda, she said, turning around. What are you doing here? I thought we agreed you weren't coming. The other women looked confused. They knew I was David's mother. They didn't understand why I wouldn't be welcome. We need to talk, I said. My voice was calm. Alone. Emma's face got pale. I'm getting married in 2 hours. Can't this wait? No, I said. It can't. Emma looked at her sisters. Can you give us a minute? The 3 women left. They looked worried. They sensed something was wrong. When the door closed, Emma and I stared at each other. She was still sitting in her wedding dress. I was standing by the door. I know, I said simply. Emma's face didn't change. Know what? I know about the money. All the money from all the different people. Emma's hands started shaking, but her voice stayed steady. I don't know what you're talking about. I stepped closer. Emma, I know you collected money from me, From your parents, from David's family, and probably from others. I know you told everyone different stories. I know you lied to everyone. Emma stood up. Her wedding dress rustled. That's not true. Marcus heard your brother talking last night about the $60,000. About all the lies. Emma's face cracked, just a little. But I saw it. Mom, Linda, she said, her voice getting softer. You don't understand. I can explain everything. Then explain it, I said. Explain why you told the flower shop you were paying with your own cash. Explain why you told your neighbors that your parents paid for everything. Explain why you told David that your parents were handling all the costs. Emma sat back down. Her hands were shaking harder now. I was trying to help everyone, she whispered. I was trying to make everyone happy. By lying and stealing? Emma's eyes filled with tears. But I didn't believe them anymore. I had seen her fake tears too many times. It's not stealing, she said. Everyone gave me the money willingly. Everyone wanted to help. Because you lied to them, I said. You told each person a different story. You made each person think they were the only one helping. Emma was quiet for a long moment. Then she looked up at me. The tears were gone. Her eyes were cold now. Different. Like a mask had been removed. So what? She said. So what if I did? Everyone has money. Everyone can afford it. I deserve a nice wedding. I stared at her. This was not the sweet girl who had called me Mom Linda. This was not the crying woman who had sat on my couch. This was someone else entirely. Emma, I said slowly, do you love my son? She laughed. It was not a nice sound. Of course I love him. David is handsome. He has a good job. He'll be a good husband. That's not what I asked. Emma stood up again. She walked to the mirror and fixed her lipstick. Like we were having a normal conversation. Like she hadn't just admitted to stealing from multiple families, she said, looking at herself in the mirror. Security is more important. David can give me security. I felt something break inside my chest. You're going to break his heart. Emma turned around. She smiled. But it was a scary smile, only if he finds out. And he won't. Because you're not going to tell him. Why wouldn't I tell him? Emma's smile got bigger. Because if you tell him, I'll tell everyone that you've been stalking me. I'll tell them you're jealous because your son chose me over you. I'll tell them you're crazy with grief over your dead husband. The words hit me like a slap. You would do that? I would do whatever it takes to protect my future, Emma said. David loves me. He'll believe me over you, especially when I start crying and tell him how mean you've been to me. I stared at this woman in her white dress, this woman who had eaten at my table, this woman who had taken my life savings, this woman who was about to marry my son. You're evil, I whispered. Emma shrugged. I'm practical. Now get out. I have a wedding to finish. I walked out of the bridal room with my head spinning. Emma's words echoed in my ears. She was right about one thing. David would believe her over me. He was so in love, so blind, but I couldn't let this happen. I couldn't let my son marry a thief and a liar. Marcus was waiting in the hallway. How did it go? Terrible, I said. She admitted everything, and she threatened me. Marcus's face got hard. What kind of threats? I told him what Emma had said. About making me look crazy, about turning David against me. Mrs. Chen, Marcus said when I finished, we can't let her get away with this. But how do we stop her? The wedding is in 90 minutes. David is getting dressed. The guests are arriving. The minister is here. Marcus thought for a moment. We need proof. Real proof. Something David can't ignore. What kind of proof? Bank records, receipts, something that shows all the money she collected. I felt hopeless. How do we get that? Marcus smiled. Leave that to me. I know someone who can help. 30 minutes later, Marcus came back with a young woman. She was about 25 with short red hair and glasses. She looked nervous. Mrs. Chen, Marcus said. This is Jessica. She works at the bank downtown. The same bank where Emma has her account. Jessica looked around nervously. I shouldn't be doing this. I could lose my job. Jessica, I said, my son is about to marry a woman who stole money from multiple families, including mine. We need your help. Jessica bit her lip. What exactly do you need? We need to see Emma's account activity for the last 3 months. We need to see all the deposits. Jessica was quiet for a long moment. That's against bank policy. I could go to jail. I understood her fear. But I also understood what was at stake. Jessica, I said gently, what if it was your brother? What if someone was lying to him and stealing from your family? Wouldn't you want someone to help? Jessica's eyes filled with tears. My brother is getting married next year. If someone was lying to him... She stopped. Okay, I'll help. But we have to be fast. We drove to the bank in Jessica's car. She used her key card to get us inside. She led us to her computer. What's Emma's full name? Jessica asked, typing. Emma Maria Rodriguez, Marcus said. Jessica's fingers flew over the keyboard. Numbers appeared on the screen. Lots of numbers. Oh my God, Jessica whispered. Look at this. I leaned closer to the screen. Emma's account showed deposit after deposit, all in the last 3 months. Here, Jessica pointed. $3,000 from Linda Chen. That's you. Yes, I said. $2,000 from Linda Chen. Another $3,000. Another $2,000. Jessica scrolled down. Mrs. Chen, you deposited $20,000 total. My heart sank. Seeing it on the screen made it real. But look at this, Jessica continued. Here's a deposit for $5,000 from Roberto Rodriguez. That's probably her father. Keep going, Marcus said. Jessica scrolled more. Another $5,000 from Maria Rodriguez. Her mother, I think. $3,000 from Carmen Rodriguez. Must be an aunt. How much from her family total? I asked. Jessica calculated quickly. $15,000 from various Rodriguez family members. That's $35,000 total, Marcus said. But her brother said $60,000. Jessica kept scrolling. Here we go. $5,000 from James Thompson. Another $5,000 from Patricia Thompson. Those names don't sound Hispanic. Who are the Thompsons? I asked. Marcus's face got pale. I think those are David's aunt and uncle. His father's sister and her husband. I felt sick. She lied to them too? There's more, Jessica said. $2,000 from William Chen. $3,000 from William Chen. I stared at the screen. William Chen is my brother-in-law. My husband's brother. Marcus put his hand on my shoulder. Mrs. Chen, she lied to your entire family. Jessica continued reading. $5,000 from Margaret O'Brien. $3,000 from Sean O'Brien. I don't know those names, I said. They might be David's co-workers, Marcus said. Or Emma's co-workers, Jessica added up all the numbers. Total deposits in 3 months, $68,000, $68,000. From at least 10 different people, all of them thinking they were the only ones helping. All of them lied to by the same woman. This is fraud, Jessica said quietly. This is a crime. I felt overwhelmed. What do we do with this information? Jessica printed out the bank statements. You take this to the police, or to a lawyer. This is evidence of theft. But what about the wedding? Marcus asked. It starts in 45 minutes. I looked at the papers in my hands. Black and white proof of Emma's lies, evidence that could send her to jail. But it would also destroy David's wedding day. It would humiliate him in front of all his friends and family. Mrs. Chen, Marcus said softly. David needs to know. Before he says I do, I nodded. You're right. But how do we tell him? Jessica looked at the clock on the wall. You don't have much time. We drove back to the venue as fast as we could. Cars were parked everywhere. Guests were walking toward the building in their nice clothes. Everyone looked happy and excited. I felt like I was about to ruin the happiest day of dozens of people's lives. But I also knew I was about to save my son from a terrible mistake. There, Marcus pointed. David's car. We parked next to it. I could see David through the window of the groom's room. He was adjusting his tie. He looked handsome in his black suit. He looked happy. I can't do this, I said suddenly. I can't break his heart like this. Marcus turned to me. Mrs. Chen, what if you don't tell him? What happens then? I thought about it. He marries her. They have a life together. Maybe she never steals again. Maybe she becomes a good wife. And maybe she doesn't, Marcus said. Maybe she keeps lying. Maybe she steals from him. Maybe she cheats on him. Maybe she destroys his life little by little. I knew Marcus was right, but it didn't make this any easier. Plus, Marcus continued, what about all the people she stole from? Don't they deserve justice? I looked at the bank statements in my lap. All those names, all those families who had trusted Emma, all those people who had been fooled. Okay, I said, let's do this. We walked into the venue. The ceremony was supposed to start in 20 minutes. Guests were finding their seats. The minister was checking his notes. Everything looked perfect. Everything was a lie. "Where's David?" I asked Marcus. Probably still in the groom's room, getting last-minute pictures. We walked toward the back of the building. My hands were shaking. The bank statements felt heavy in my purse. I knocked on the groom's room door. "Come in." David's voice called out. I opened the door. David was standing in front of a mirror with 3 of his friends. They were all in black suits. They looked like models. When David saw me, his face changed. "Mom, what are you doing here? I thought we agreed." "David," I interrupted. "I need to talk to you, alone, right now." David's friends looked uncomfortable. They could hear the urgency in my voice. "Mom, the wedding starts in 15 minutes. Can't this wait?" "No," I said firmly. "It can't wait," David sighed. He looked at his friends. "Can you guys give us a minute?" The 3 men left. David and I were alone. "David," I said, sitting down on a chair, "there's something you need to know about Emma." David's face got hard. "Mom, please don't do this." "Not today. I know you don't like her, but..." "I don't like her because she's a liar and a thief," I said. David stared at me. "What?" I pulled the bank statements out of my purse. "Sit down, son, please." David sat down across from me. He looked confused and scared. "David," I said gently, "Emma told you that her parents paid for this wedding, right?" "Yes, her family has been saving for years." I handed him the first bank statement. "This shows deposits into Emma's account for the last 3 months. Look at the names." David took the paper. His eyes moved across the numbers. "I don't understand." "What am I looking at?" "Those are deposits from different people. People who gave Emma money for the wedding." David's face got pale. I pointed to the first line. "Me. I gave her $20,000. David's mouth fell open. "You what?" "Emma came to me 3 months ago. She said her parents couldn't afford the wedding. She said she was embarrassed. She asked me to help. She made me promise not to tell you." David was staring at the paper like it was written in a foreign language. But she told me her parents were paying for everything." "Look at the other names," I said gently. David's finger moved down the list. "Roberto Rodriguez, Maria Rodriguez, those are her parents." "Yes, they gave her $15,000. David's voice was barely a whisper. "But if her parents gave money and you gave money, then she lied to both of us," I finished. David kept reading. "James Thompson, Patricia Thompson, those are Dad's sister and her husband." "Yes, they gave $10,000. David's hands started shaking. "William Chen, that's Uncle Bill. He gave $8,000. David put the paper down. His face was white. "Mom, what does this mean?" I took his hands in mine. "It means Emma lied to everyone. She told each person a different story. She collected money from all of us. $68,000 total." David pulled his hands away. "That's impossible. Emma wouldn't do that. She loves me." "David," I said softly. "I talked to her an hour ago." I gave her a chance to explain. She admitted everything. David stood up. He started pacing around the small room. No, this is wrong. There has to be an explanation." "There is an explanation," I said. "Emma is a criminal. She committed fraud. She stole from our entire family." David stopped pacing. He turned to look at me. His eyes were red. "Why are you doing this to me, Mom? On my wedding day?" My heart broke. "David, I'm doing this because I love you. Because you deserve better than a woman who lies and steals." "But she loves me," David said. His voice sounded like a little boy's. "She said she loves me." I stood up and hugged him. "Some people say things they don't mean. Some people use love as a weapon." David pulled away from me. "I need to talk to her. I need to hear this from her." "Okay," I said. "But David, the wedding starts in 10 minutes. All these people are here. What are you going to do?" David looked at me with lost eyes. "I don't know, Mom. I don't know anything anymore." There was a knock on the door. "David?" Marcus's voice called out. "Time to go, buddy." David looked at the door, then at me, then at the bank statements. "What do I do, Mom?" "You tell the truth," I said. "You stop the wedding. You deal with Emma. You figure out what comes next." David was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Okay, let's go." We walked out of the groom's room together. Marcus was waiting in the hallway with the other groomsmen. They could see something was wrong. "What's going on?" Jake asked. David held up the bank statements. "Emma has been lying to everyone. She stole money from multiple families for this wedding." The groomsmen's faces changed. They looked shocked and angry. "Are you sure?" Tommy asked. "The bank records don't lie," Marcus said. David took a deep breath. "I need to stop this wedding. I need to talk to Emma." "David," Marcus said gently, "there are 150 people out there. They're all waiting for the ceremony to start." "I know," David said, "but I can't marry someone who stole from my family." We walked toward the main room. I could hear music playing. I could hear people talking and laughing. Everyone was ready for a wedding. Instead, they were about to witness a disaster. David stopped at the entrance to the main room. All the guests were seated. Emma's family was in the front row. David's friends were scattered throughout the room. The minister was standing at the altar. "How do I do this?" David asked me. "With dignity," I said. "Tell the truth. Be honest. Let people make their own decisions about Emma." David nodded. He walked into the main room. Conversation stopped. Everyone turned to look at him. David walked to the front of the room. He stood next to the minister. "Excuse me," David said loudly. "Everyone, please. I need your attention." The room got completely quiet. 150 people stared at my son. "I'm sorry," David said, "but there's not going to be a wedding today." Gasps echoed through the room. People started murmuring. Emma's mother stood up. "What's wrong?" she called out in accented English. "Where is Emma?" David held up the bank statements. "Emma has been collecting money from multiple families for this wedding. She lied to all of us. She told each family a different story. She stole over $60,000. The room exploded. People started shouting. Emma's father stood up and started yelling in Spanish. David's aunt Patricia was crying. "That's impossible," Emma's mother screamed. "My daughter is not a thief." David's voice got louder. "I have the bank records. I have proof." Just then, Emma appeared at the back of the room. She was still in her wedding dress. She looked beautiful and confused. "David?" she called out. "What's happening? Why isn't the music playing?" Every head in the room turned to look at her. She walked down the aisle toward David. Her white dress trailed behind her. "Emma," David said when she reached the front. "We need to talk." Emma looked around the room. She could see the angry faces. She could feel the tension. "David, you're scaring me." "What's wrong?" David held out the bank statements. "Explain these." Emma took the papers. Her eyes moved across the numbers. I watched her face carefully. I saw the exact moment when she realized she had been caught. "David," she said softly. "I can explain this." "Then explain it," David said. "Explain why you collected money from my mother, from my aunt and uncle, from your own parents, from my family friends. Explain why you lied to everyone." Emma's eyes filled with tears, but this time, I could see they were real tears. Tears of fear. Tears of panic. "I was trying to help," she whispered. "I was trying to make sure we had a perfect wedding." "By lying and stealing?" David's voice was getting louder. Emma looked around the room. 150 pairs of eyes were staring at her, judging her, condemning her. "It's not stealing," she said desperately. "Everyone gave me the money willingly." David's Aunt Patricia stood up. "You told us David's mother couldn't afford to help. You said we were the only ones who could save the wedding." Emma's face crumbled. David's Uncle James stood up next. "You lied to us, Emma. You made us think we were special. You made us think we were the only ones helping." One by one, other people started standing up. People I didn't recognize. People Emma had lied to. "You told me David was paying for everything," Emma's father shouted. "You said you needed money for your dress. You said your parents had no money," my brother-in-law William called out. "You cried in my living room." Emma looked around the room wildly. Everywhere she looked, there were angry faces. Betrayed faces. People she had lied to and stolen from. "Please," she said, her voice breaking. "Please, let me explain." "Explain what?" David asked. His voice was cold now. "Explain how you collected $68,000 by lying to everyone who cared about us?" Emma fell to her knees in her wedding dress. The white fabric spread around her like a puddle. "David, please. I love you. I did this for us." "You did this for yourself," David said. "You're a liar and a thief." Emma looked up at him with desperate eyes. David, please don't do this. We can work this out. We can pay everyone back, David asked. You spent it all on this wedding. This wedding that's built on lies. Emma tried to stand up, but her dress was too heavy. She was trapped on the floor in front of everyone. David, I'm begging you. Don't leave me. David looked down at her for a long moment. I could see the pain in his eyes. The love he had felt for her was dying right in front of us. Emma, David said quietly, you left me the moment you decided to lie to me. He turned and walked out of the room. The wedding that was supposed to be the happiest day of David's life descended into chaos. Emma, still in her white gown, was on the floor crying as her family shouted in Spanish and English. Guests tried to calm things down, but it was pointless. The truth was out. Emma's lies had been exposed. Mrs. Chen, walked toward her. Her mascara streaked down her cheeks as she whispered, Please, Mrs. Chen, help me. Talk to David. I knelt beside her and said softly, Emma, that time is over. You made your choices, and now you have to live with them. She sobbed. But I love him. If you loved him, I replied, you wouldn't have lied. You wouldn't have stolen from his family. Her cries grew louder. I just wanted him to be proud of me, she said. Pride built on lies is just shame waiting to be discovered, I told her, before walking away to find my son. Outside, David sat on the hood of his car, head in his hands, still in his wedding suit. His eyes were red from crying. Mom, he said hoarsely, how did I not see this? How was I so stupid? You weren't stupid, I told him. You were in love. Love makes us blind to red flags. He nodded, recalling how Emma had always avoided talking about money or her family, how she grew nervous when questioned. What do I do now? He asked. You start over, I said. You heal. You learn. And someday, you'll find someone who deserves you. He looked at me, broken. Will anyone ever love me again? You're kind, loyal, and honest, I said. The right woman will see that. We sat in silence, the noise from the venue fading behind us. Then David whispered, Mom, I'm sorry for not listening to you, for defending Emma. You were protecting someone you loved, I told him. That's not a crime. You're my son. Nothing changes that. He hugged me tightly. Thank you for saving me. That's what mothers do, I said. Just then, Marcus, David's best friend, appeared. The police are here, he said gravely. Jessica from the bank called them. Fraud case. Emma might be going to jail. Inside, Emma was still in her gown, but now in handcuffs. Her mother was crying. Her father was shouting at the police. It was heartbreaking, but it was justice. The officers asked to speak with David and me. For hours, we gave statements and showed bank documents, proof of Emma's lies. Officer Martinez, a kind woman handling our case, confirmed it was a clear case of fraud. She'll be charged, she explained. If convicted, she could serve years in prison. When I asked if we'd get our money back, she said gently, It depends if she spent it all. We'll do what we can. My heart ached, but strangely, I didn't care about the money anymore. Saving David from a lifetime of deceit was worth far more. Later at home, we sat quietly over tea, drained. David finally asked, What do we tell people? Everyone saw what happened. We tell them the truth, I said. We don't hide it or make excuses. We just say we learned something about someone we trusted. People will talk, he sighed. Let them, I said. Those who care will understand. The rest don't matter. For the first time that day, he smiled. When did you get so wise, Mom? When I had to protect you from a woman who wanted to hurt you. Over the next few weeks, word spread fast. Some people were sympathetic. Others gossiped. I ignored the whispers and focused on healing. Emma's life unraveled. She lost her job, her reputation, and her freedom. David, meanwhile, struggled with heartbreak and shame. He took time off work and went to therapy. Slowly, he began to rebuild his confidence and rediscover his worth. 6 months later, Emma pled guilty. She was sentenced to 2 years in prison and ordered to repay what she could. I eventually got back about $8,000. Not much, but closure meant more than cash. David cut all contact with her. He said he didn't want to live in the past. A year later, he met someone new, Sarah, a teacher. She was everything Emma wasn't: open, kind, and honest. When he introduced her to me, I was cautious at first, but she answered every question without hesitation. She didn't hide, didn't manipulate, and never once asked for money. For the first time, I felt peace about the woman my son loved. David and Sarah have now been together 2 years, and they're planning their wedding. This time I'm genuinely happy. This time, I trust the bride. Looking back, that painful chapter in our lives taught me lessons I'll never forget. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore red flags just because you want to believe in someone's goodness. Be careful with money. Generosity is noble, but trust must be earned. Money reveals true character faster than words ever will. Honesty always wins. The truth may hurt in the moment, but lies destroy everything eventually. I could have stayed silent to protect David's feelings, but the truth saved him. Family comes first. Our bond was tested but grew stronger through pain. Love rooted in truth survives anything. Evil wears a friendly face. Not everyone who seems kind is genuine. Some people manipulate love and kindness for their own gain. But the greatest lesson of all? Good always wins. Emma's lies collapsed under their own weight. She thought she could build happiness on deception, but life doesn't work that way. David is happy again, with a woman who loves him for who he is. Our family is whole. Justice was done. And those she deceived learned to guard their hearts more wisely. So I ask you, what would you do if you were in my place? If someone was deceiving your child, would you tell the truth, even if it risked your relationship? Love sometimes means standing firm when your child can't see the danger. They might hate you for a while, but truth has a way of shining through. Because in the end, truth wins. Love wins, family wins. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever faced a choice between keeping peace and speaking truth, I'd love to hear how you handled it. With love and respect, Mrs. Chen.